Fair warning, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review reaction, I guess, for Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Now, let's get into it. Oh, so, wow, the official first episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths has launched and is now finished. I saw it and yeah, it was definitely really good. It has all the characters, like all the at least main characters launched, like boom, right at the beginning. Supergirl, Superman, because it started off with Supergirl, so obviously those main characters are going to be there. Goes in, throws in Batwoman right off the bat. Arrow, obviously. Two of the Legends at least, and of course Flash. So at least the main cast are there. I'm guessing Legends more are gonna come in later, hopefully, because like Legends is my second favorite of the Arrowverse. Like the Flash being the first, and it's kind of confusing why they only had two of the Legends, but they will most likely introduce that. Most likely conclude that later. But wow, this was definitely really good. Holy crap, I am excited for the next episode and the episode after that. It's really annoying that they're waiting for the final two. It's going all the way to January 14th. Like, I don't get why they're doing 1, 2, 3 episodes, boom, 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 right in a row, and then making us wait like 3 weeks. Like, why? Come on, but whatever. Either way, this first episode was amazing. I really liked how they kind of still had, because they didn't really talk about the Crisis or anything like that in Batwoman, so they didn't really have to. But I like how they showed the different Earths and people just talking about what's going on, and not really knowing, or not really knowing what's going on, I should say. And how, like, Batwoman just kind of is still doing her same thing. She's chasing down Alice, like what she's been doing in so far this entire first season of Batwoman, which has been pretty good, actually. I know it's been getting some mixed reviews, but I still like it. Barry, he's been preparing himself in The Flash the entire season of The Flash, so show him trying to get in contact with Cisco and Iris and trying to figure out, like, when is it happening. And then it was the same thing. We come back in on Arrow, same place that it ended in the previous episode of Arrow, of the Crisis kind of starting and showing up, and you see the red wave on its way. So yeah, that picks up right where it should be, which is amazing. I really liked how the fact that Batwoman, she doesn't know what's going on. She'd never heard of any of this yet, but I guess the Monitor must have let Lila, whatever she went by now, whatever she kind of became, but let Lila know and just picked up Batwoman just in the middle of a fight. So what does she do? She goes right as she gets onto Supergirl's Earth, goes up, sees her, like, reacts like, what the hell, and then just punches her in the face. And then you get one of the best lines, because Batwoman's like, what was the exact line? It was something like, I was listening to that rabbit, or I was talking with that rabbit. You hear Brainy, this one could talk to rabbits? Just a little throwaway line, super funny. I really liked how Burt Ward's Earth, i.e. the man who played Robin from Batman 66, how his Earth is Earth 66. So that was awesome. That was a nice little touch there. I also like that they still included Earth X, so including the Ray. So from not the last crossover from one before of Crisis on Earth X, so that's was my favorite one. I don't know, this one will probably be better, but my favorite of the crossovers up until this point. I kind of hope that because of that, maybe they will actually have Captain Cold back, because he on Earth X he went back where he was from. There was like the gay version of him on Earth X, and they showed the Ray, which was cool. So I don't know, Captain Cold was my favorite character from Legends the first season just first season. So I don't know. I hope they bring him in. And they even showed the couple characters of Titans from DC Universe, which is also another really good show. Not even had anything to do with Arrowverse technically. So the fact that they're actually, as we've all already known, they're doing a lot of hype through all sort of DC canon. Like, as we already know that with Tom Welling's Superman from Smallville back in the early 2000s. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of characters from all across DC canon, which is awesome. So yeah, this has been really interesting so far. I liked how they still split up characters, so you could have little groups doing individual things without having it to be one big mesh of everyone all in ones. Like, you had the first appearance of Superman's son, John, obviously named after Jonathan Kent. So and they did basically the same thing what happened to Clark Kent, or Kal-El, I should say, and Krypton. Put him on the ship and he flew away. So they had another separate mission of trying to find him, which was interesting. They split up a few people from each show. Again, I think they did that. They try to do that as well, without having to keep just the main cast all together, like, and trying to have everyone conglomerate into one big mess. Like, even when they actually are fighting, they still fight in groups. It makes it easier to follow different storylines and different beats without it all just being a big everyone free for all big fight, which I'm sure they still will do. They'll probably will have a big kind of like everyone walk in together type of shot, like they did with Earth X, and at the end of what they did in Marvel in Endgame, with the big on your left, everyone revealing, everyone showing up at once, holy crap scene. Which, like, seriously, that's Marvel was up there movie, and then this is super close as for TV. Like, holy crap, they've gotten, it's crazy on how much they're getting into this. Oh, and they introduced the big tower. It was just a beacon that apparently the Monitor had put there millennia ago to help as a last resort type of thing. I liked how they kind of still split into teams into like, okay, you guys go check out from this tower being erupting into the planet. Like, Supergirl and Superman, you go help figure out, save some other people, defend from this big shock that happened when it came to the Earth, basically. And then the more human, basically, human level characters will stay here and defend this tower, so that, because they don't know what's coming, they just know that there is an army approaching. I liked that the play on it. It was kind of like they were definitely reminding me of kind of like the Speed Force, like correction ghosts from The Flash that had that same kind of feel, or the Death Eaters from Harry Potter. So it had that definitely like hardcore, like ghost-like feel. It was definitely interesting to see those. I was expecting, because like obviously it's not the same thing, but I was expecting like parademons like from Darkseid, but that would have been a little too obvious, I think. And Darkseid, it's a different threat than this, so I guess it wouldn't have made sense. So I'm glad they used something. It was kind of weird that they just poofed off for one hit, but I guess there are like hundreds of thousands, millions of them, or whatever attacking at once. So I did really like the small little interaction between the Atom and Batwoman. They had their first appearance. Of course, he's interested in her suit, in her tech. So what does he do? He's like, wants to just upgrade it and make it even better. Her first line to him is just, "How attached are you to your hand?" Don't touch. But then as they're going out and actually defending this tower from these shadow demons, she actually takes the upgrade and then gets it so that he upgrades it like super quickly by like just putting it on his armor. Whatever, who cares? It's weird fantasy tech, but makes it so that it could actually come back to her, which is pretty cool. That way she's not going to lose her batarangs anymore, I guess. But yeah, so she had that good appearance in there. I think they've been doing so far. It was a good mix of like action and like figuring out like them trying to figure out what's going on, and like a little bit of still tying in what's been going on in the previously in the season of Supergirl. So there's still like the drama of what's going on, but not enough to be like, okay, you need to fully understand. It's just like, okay, there's just some drama. Like, okay, if you don't watch Supergirl, then you can still kind of understand it. And then, as most people know, like Arrow it's called the Arrowverse. So Arrow was the first one. So of course they have to put a lot of emphasis on Oliver, regardless of which episode. I'm feeling he's gonna still be around, but in future episodes, but we'll see. Oh, another part that I really liked. I liked that Ollie's daughter, Thea, she was like hesitant of taking the costume because he presented her with her version of his costume to officially make her like the new Green Arrow, because he knew that he was gonna die. But she like didn't want to take it because it was too much of a burden for her. So that was like actually kind of saddening, but it like makes sense in her mind. But you're like, come on, just do it. Like you want this to happen. So it was definitely interesting. Okay. And then so now we jump into the groups, all of them defending off defending the tower from these demons, and it's like oh shit, like they need I think it was partially a little bit to extend for time, make it a little bit longer because this part may not necessarily have been needed, but it kind of worked because for plot reasons, I guess. It was Jean, he had all the aliens of Earth get their spaceships to save all the lives on the planet, so they had to port them off to a different Earth, i.e. Earth 1. Not i.e. whatever. Onto Earth 1. And they had to save. Like, they were running out of time. And the tower was not working, so Superman and Supergirl go up and they figure out, oh, that's basically a solar panel. Let's heat vision it. Power back up. Okay, like that whole sequence technically didn't even necessarily have to happen, and the rest of it would have still made sense. So that's the one part. Like, I guess they just had to, I don't know, maybe extend the time a little bit or add a little bit more drama of like, are they going to escape? But like, of course they are, because it's the first one and all the heroes have to survive, blah blah blah. But that was the one kind of like downfall, like one of the slower, like unimportant, I guess, moments, because they were gonna save them all, like regardless, all the people. But I did like the lead up to the scene that everyone has seen, the scene from the trailer of Monitor saying, "Oh, it's time to go, Oliver. Like, we have to leave. You are of utmost importance." Oliver being, has the planet been evacuated yet? Not everyone. Then no, it's not time to go. So he's literally staying on to the last second as much as possible, defending this and fighting them off until as many people can escape as possible, until you see the actual antimatter, until you see the actual antimatter wave flow by. And like, so obviously the monitor pulled him out of it like last second, and he's not looking too hot. He's definitely obviously beaten up. We've seen Ollie beaten up like to shit through the entire show, damn near, of Arrow. He gets his ass kicked and everything. He's fine. So I don't see how this technically would have killed him, but I don't know. Maybe the waves affected him or something as well. So reasons, but you know, again, spoiler alert, but you know, Ollie died already in this very first episode just by fighting off the shadow demons or whatever, which I don't think it's, even though Arrow is in its final season, I still don't think he's either going to stay dead or like Oliver Queen per se is going to stay dead, especially considering they, in this episode, when I was talking earlier about them splitting off, they went and found Superman's son. It was on Earth. But somehow in the future, whatever. So they introduced Green Arrow 1946. So I'm feeling that Ollie's either going to play of some sort of importance, or another Oliver Queen somehow from another multiverse. Yeah, like there's going to be some importance of Oliver Queen. Like there's no way just this last scene of him is the final scene of Green Arrow, I don't believe. But yeah, final thoughts. I really liked it. It was definitely enjoyable. You don't have to watch every episode of Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Black Lightning, Batwoman. Like, you don't need to watch every single episode of all of the previous shows to get it. I watched most of them anyway. I actually basically just re-picked up Supergirl just because of this. So I restarted watching that because I've been off and on with that show. I've been always watching Flash, and then Arrow, it took me a little bit to get into, but then I got into it, and I've been watching it since, I think season 5 or something like that, season 5 or 6. So, I've definitely stayed consistent. I've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of Black Lightning, never got into that show. Batwoman, like I said previously, I'm liking it enough to continue following it, but like I said, how they introduced her into this crossover, you don't even need to watch it, and I have a feeling that's going to be the same thing when Black Lightning shows up. Like, it's going to be enough so you know who the character is, basically, and that's about it, I think. So if you don't watch all the shows, that should be fine. They do it in similar way as Infinity War did with Marvel. There, they had enough. Like, you at least know the characters. Just if you just watch TV or see anything in the media, you know relatively who the characters are. So it's enough to, you can still just watch it just as is if need be. I said this before with Earth X. I don't get why they wouldn't, but they should definitely release these as like for TV movies individually. I think, and you would still get enough context. I think they would make enough money on it. But anyway, but yeah. That's it for me right now for part 1. I'm going to be trying to do a review here for all of these as soon as I watch it, and I'm going to try to get it out day of. Let me know what you guys thought of the first episode. I know so far what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of reactions have been definitely positive. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. I am excited for the next one and the one after that. But then annoyed that I have to wait until the 14th of October when I'm starting school again to finish it. Like, oh, why are they making such a hiatus? But I guess shows have been doing that. Anyway, that's it for now. Those are my thoughts. I will talk to you guys later. See you in the next video.